This is our R31 Skyline. We found it sitting in a paddock out in the Western Downs, and we're using it as a bit of a community build. We're going to be getting as many people involved in restoring the old girl as we possibly can, and when it's done, we're going to be giving it away to one of our subscribers. Now, in the last episode, we got the car running. We had a small engine bay fire, but when we went to drive it, this happened. So my job today is to see if I can get the clutch sorted out, and whilst I'm at it, one of our subscribers suggested we give it a compression test. So I've got a compression test here in the shed. I'm going to see if I can get that done too. So let's grab some tools and get into it. You may not know this, but we've been donated a heap of old cars that were caught in a bushfire in 2007 down in the Lockyer Valley. During the week, I went and recovered an old Volvo that was there, and we sold that for scrap, and with the money we made, I was able to buy, amongst other things, a new battery. So let's pop this in so we can run the engine up and get this compression test sorted and see if we can get it driving. That's a relief. She still runs. So new battery in it, and it started just fine. Now our next problem is the clutch pedal, because when I went to use it in the last episode, I pushed it once and it went to the floor and never come back up. I'm hoping it's something as simple as just flushing the system out, putting new fluid in it and priming it, and then off we go. And if not, we're gonna have to scrimp and save and get ourselves a new slave or master cylinder. We'll find out. So let's see if we can get this sorted out and get the old girl driving. Now, funny thing here is it's got pretty clean fluid in it, but if I stick my finger down to the bottom of the bloody thing, I'm bringing up just a heap of gunk and sludge. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to disconnect the clutch line just here and see if this master cylinder is actually part of the problem, because I reckon that this sludge has probably gunked up all of the valve inside it. Hopefully that's all it is. So I'll grab some rags, I'll soak all this up, put a drip tray down underneath the car so we don't spill oil over the driveway, and see what happens. Righto, so what I've done is pulled out the clutch line from the master cylinder to the slave cylinder, and a heap of pretty clean looking, I'm not going to say it's healthy looking, but it was clean looking clutch fluid spilled out into the drip tray as I was doing it. So I'm pretty confident there's no blockages, but let's, yep, that's like a windpipe. So we're pretty right there. So what I'm going to do now is disconnect the flexible hose from the slave cylinder to where this connects, check that that's all clear, and if that's the case, then I'll put some fluid in it and see if we can get some pressure and pump it, see if we can get a clutch. Righto, so there's our flexible clutch line, and give them a bit of wipe. So that's not blocked, so what I'll do is reassemble all this and then we'll put a bit of fluid in it and see if it pumps. Okie dokie, she's all back together. So what I'm going to do now is fill up the reservoir with a little bit of brake fluid, or clutch brake fluid, and I've made up a little bleed tool. Now this is literally just a Coke bottle with a few Coach bolts in the bottom to give it weight so it doesn't topple over on you, and some clear hose. And what I'm going to do is plug that onto the nipple, and basically you'll be able to see the air bubbles. So this is a good way of it to literally cost me $2 to make. If you're bleeding brakes by yourself, by all means, there's better tools out there, but this will get the job done. This is what I use as a young bloke bleeding brakes and clutches all the time. So what we'll do, we'll climb under the car, we'll connect this up, and we'll see if we can get some brake pedal back. Yep, so you want to be able to do it up and then crack it without taking it off. And we grab our U-Butte Coke bottle bleed tool, we'll pop it in there so we don't spill anything. Plug him on, and then we'll see if we get some pedal. Nothing. Ooh. Oh, it's not looking good. I reckon the plunger's actually buggered. Well, there's our problem, is that our plunger has got nothing to plunge on because it's stuck in there. So let's see if we can free it up somehow. Well, it moves. Just doesn't want to move back. I dare say we might be up for a new clutch master cylinder. Well, this is knackered. As much as I've gotten the piston to move, there's actually rust around the where it was sitting, and it's got some pitting and scoring in the actual bore itself. So even if I could get it out, it's not really going to work properly because of that pitting and scoring. So what we're going to have to do is scrap a few more cars to raise some dollars to buy ourselves a new clutch master cylinder. Or you can help by subscribing to the channel, because we are a charity and our only source of income at the moment is our YouTube channel. So if you want to help, click that subscribe button and it'll go towards one of these. So what I'm going to do from here on in is I'm going to get the engine warmed up and we'll see if we can do the compression test, because we can't do much more with this, even if I can fix it. So let's get the engine fired up, tidy up what we've done, and see what compression's like. Righto, so the first thing you want to do when you are doing a compression test on your car is get it up to operating temperature. And that's what we've done, because I've had the car sitting here idling as I've been cleaning up from our failed attempt to getting the clutch to work. And then we want to find the fuse for the fuel pump, because we don't want fuel being delivered up to the fuel rail whilst we're trying to do this. Then we're going to pull the coil plug so we don't get spark. And it's pretty straightforward from there. It's you pull the plug out, you chuck the tester in, you get the pressure, and you want a nice even pressure across all 6 cylinders, plus or minus 10%, it's like a rule of thumb. I don't know what the actual cylinder compression should be for the Skylines. I'm gonna have to look that up. But what I'll do is we'll test all 6 cylinders, see what we've got, and that'll give us just an indication as to whether we've got a healthy engine or not, because if there's down on one cylinder, it's never gonna run properly, and we'll probably have to take the head off and have a look at some things, probably get the bottom end rebuilt. So let's grab some tools and get into it. Okay, so pressure test is complete. Now I've got the Nissan workshop manual here that we've been donated, and I've had a bit of a look, and it says in here that our minimum pressure is 128 PSI with a difference of 14 PSI across all 4 cylinders, and a standard, like as new, off-the-shelf engine, it should be 173 PSI. Now, safe to say, she's not a standard or a new engine at all, and she is on the tired side. So basically, across the cylinders, we've got 125 PSI being our lowest in cylinder number 1, and 136 being the highest in our cylinder number 6. And then everything was about 130-ish for the most part, 128. So we've got a difference of 10 PSI between the cylinders, which it's a tired engine. It probably is at the end of its life, like it's done 300 and something thousand Ks. God knows how many of them were doing burnouts in the car park down this train station by some young bloke back in the day, but that doesn't matter. We've got an engine that has at least got some decent compression about it. It's not a cooked engine. We're still good there, and we can keep moving forward. So it's nice to have a win today. Unfortunately, we're not going to get the clutch sorted out today. So what I'm going to do is reconnect all of the ignition, the fuel pump, and just make sure that she runs, and then that's going to be it for the day. So until next time, ladies and gents, don't forget, keep it real.